What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and this is your Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega breakdown. Phenomenal fight, phenomenal scrap in the featherweight division. For Yair, I think this could be a number one contender fight for him. Ortega, I would say he still needs maybe one more or two more really to get back in that title contention. But for a guy like Yair, this is a really... he wins this fight. There's a real talk of him being in those, title talks. And I think Volk would take it. I think he's stylistically, I like Yair, but Volk mauls Yair. And Emmett, having the performance he had, I mean, a lot of people don't want to, you've seen the way he's been getting treated, it sucks, man. He wasn't even front row for the Volk and Holloway fight. So I think they don't really want to do Volk and Emmett, even though, in my opinion, I think Emmett has the best win streak of all of Volk's contenders that he's fought. He'll be on the longest win streak. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So it's a real big fight for Yair. Ortega, obviously, it's a big fight for him too. He needs to win this fight. He needs to get back in his winning ways. So yeah, it's a big fight for both guys. You lose this, it can really deter you and take you to a really weird place in your career where you gotta, it's a lot harder of a climb back than it is if you win, basically. I'll just keep it like that. But it's a great fight. Two Mexicans. Obviously, yeah, we got Yair, I shouldn't even say this, but we got Yair, who, to me, has more of that Mexican spirit. But, it is what it is. Ortega's more of an LA boy, if anything. But yeah, man, it's going to be a great fight. These guys are going to bang. I think they're going to be in the middle. It is a striker versus grappler matchup. I do expect that. But, we know what Ortega brings. And he does like to take damage, to give damage. So it's going to be a really, really good matchup. But in terms of the rankings, if I go to the UFC rankings and where they're ranked, they're ranked pretty highly, actually. I'm pretty sure Ortega's like number 2 or something like that. Yeah, number 2 versus number 3. Yeah, wow, it's crazy. Yair and Josh Emmett tied for 3. So you see that what's going on here, like what they're doing basically. But it is what it is. But yeah, Ortega comes with a record of 15-2, only 2 losses, man. Holloway and fucking Volkanovski. So yeah, that's insane. Age 31, height of 5'8", and reach 69. Yair 13-3. Lost to Frankie Max Holloway. I forgot who's the other guy he lost to. Probably might be before the UFC. Let me look. Who did he lose? Oh, Roberto Hera. Interesting guy. But yeah, it's fighting at Chicago, age 29, a height of 5'11", and a reach of 71. So, Yair's the taller, longer guy coming into this matchup. But in terms of resumes, man, Yair, he's interesting. He hasn't fought everyone, but he's fought a lot of guys that are great. When it comes to the striking, he's, to me, the most aesthetically pleasing to watch, if you understand what I'm saying. He does so many crazy things, but the setups are nice. Everything's nice. All the fundamentals are nice. Like, the basics are good. His 1-2s, his boxing is really, really good. His head movement, the way he rolls for shots, and then his kicking game, it's beautiful. So he can do the crazy shit, but he can do the simple stuff, the 1-2s, the right leg kicks, the lead leg kicks, the body kicks, all the good stuff. And he's just a fun fighter to watch because the striking is on another level. When you talk about striking with Yair Rodriguez, man, in terms of just pure technique, you have to put him up there, man. Like with the Adesanyas, the Wonder Boys, just those, light, Taekwondo style, kind of karate style, kind of like just kickboxing style guys in the UFC. He's up there. I really do believe that. He doesn't really get his name mentioned, but in terms of just how he moves, man, he's a different beast in there. But in terms of resume, he's fought Max Holloway, Jeremy Stephens twice, Korean Zombie, Frankie Edgar, BJ Penn, Alex Caceres, Andre Fili, Dan Hooker, Charles Rosa. A lot of good guys, he beat Dan, in my opinion, who's a good fighter, beat Andre Fili, who's decent, Caceres, split decision, but Caceres made somewhat of a bit of a comeback. BJ Penn fight was a murder, and they should have never did it. He lost to Frankie, which is going to be very influential in this matchup is the Frank Edgar fight. Beat Korean Zombie. In my opinion, it's interesting. People look at that as a fluke. I look at it more or less as it was a great fight. I had it 2-2 going into that 5th round. I thought it was very close. I thought the Zombie was going to win it, but it was a very close fight. The way people look at it is as if his Zombie was dominant. In my opinion, he wasn't. He got caught with a beautiful shot. In my opinion, it was the best fight of the year for me personally to watch. I remember, I think Yoel and Robert Whitaker ended up getting that fight of the year nod, but that was like a great fight to watch, and he got him good with that shot. He went to a no contest with Jeremy Stephens, almost similar to the Pedro Munoz, Sean O'Malley stuff. Then he beats Jeremy Stephens, but something interesting happened in this Jeremy Stephens fight. He won the first 2 rounds. He hurt Jeremy bad with a beautiful body kick, but we know Jeremy's kind of weak to the body. But in that 3rd round, or especially, this is why I got so much respect for Jeremy. It was almost like a flashback to the Aldo fight, how he got finished at the body. And it was almost like, nah, I'm not going to get finished that way again, And that's why I got so much respect for him, because he willed himself out of that, showed so much heart, and then proceeded to win the 3rd round. And something I'm noticing with Yair, in the booking of Yair, is he's been kind of blessed. Ever since the Frankie fight, they gave him strikers. Now, Zombie can wrestle, but he prefers to strike. Same thing with Jeremy. Jeremy has a wrestling background, but he prefers to strike, right? And I will give him one thing. He showed some takedown defense against Zombie. Zombie did try to clinch in him and tried to get some inside trips and stuff like that. So he did defend the clinch really well. But when it comes to guys shooting on him, he's not great. Jeremy Stephens was able to keep him down for that whole 3rd round and was able to take him down. And Jeremy isn't known for taking down anyone really in the UFC, and he was able to do it to Yair. This is a theme that has plagued Yair's career, his lack of wrestling. I see him working hard on it, but it seems like he's just naturally not good at defending takedowns. He naturally finds himself on his back a lot. And against Frankie Edgar, Frankie legitimately, I like Frankie. I like Yair. Don't get it twisted. I like both of them. But Frankie, he assaulted him. I don't know how to describe it. It was a public beatdown. It wasn't competitive at all. And then against Max Holloway, he did phenomenal. He was outstriking Max. If there was a kickboxing match or a Muay Thai fight, he beats Max. But Max got in his bag, took him down, and that's a bad look. I like Yair. Striking wise, he's phenomenal. But wrestling wise, I don't know what it is. It's almost like he wants to be on his back sometimes. He just kind of jumps into these takedowns and let guys take him down. I don't know. Maybe he has crazy jiu-jitsu. I just don't know. But that's not a good look. Even though he had so much success on the feet with Max, and he kind of, he opened a lot of people's eyes to what was going to happen in the Volkanovski fight to Max. So he showed the blueprint that Max is hittable. He kind of humbled a lot of people, because everyone was thought Max was a god after the Calvin Kattar fight. So he humbled the crowd, and he showed respect, right? But the way he lost was alarming for this matchup, particularly because when we talk about Brian Ortega is his life is grappling. Now, sometimes he's one of those guys, like a Jeremy Stephens, like a Korean Zombie. He wants to bang. He wants to strike. He's not going to shoot for takedowns every time, right? That's not necessarily his style. But game plans, strategies, and matchups matter, because after this Max Holloway fight, we're done talking. We go into this Brian Ortega matchup, and we look at Brian Ortega's resume, and we look at the mentality he's going to come into this matchup and what he's going to do. He has to wrestle. He has to. He cannot strike with Yair. Some guys are dumb, like Sean Strickland, but hopefully you learn something from that and you wrestle. So really, that's what it comes down to. Now, if we look at Ortega's resume, he fought Volkanovski, Korean Zombie, right? They both have that in common. Also fought Max Holloway, but the Max Holloway fight with Ortega and then the Max Holloway fight with Yair, you can't even compare it, right? Completely different, right? Yair had moments. Ortega, he got taught how to box, So that's really what happened. Now, one thing one thing good for Ortega. He beat Frankie when Yair didn't. He beat Cub Swanson, Renato Mocain. Really good wins. Beat Clay Guida. Yeah, he's beaten a lot of good guys, right? He's a legit dude. He has a lot of potential. I understand why people are high on him, kind of, because they see that he can be really great. But he has an issue with taking damage in his losses. Now, in his wins, right, let's talk about his most recent win, his Korean Zombie fight. He took no damage in that fight. He completely dominated. He was actually able to take Zombie down a few times. He outstriked him. He's long and rangy. He has really good, like, Muay Thai skills, actually, and he mixes it in well with some of his boxing. Striking-wise, he's good, but here's the thing. I think Volkanovski described it best. Brian Ortega is good with guys that kind of go your turn, my turn, right? I attack you first, and then you come and attack me, right? You see certain fights like that. But then there's fighters like Max Holloway and Volkanovski that doesn't play my turn, your turn. They play, it's always going to be my turn, and I'm always going to have high output. You know what I'm saying? Like, a high output fighters give him problems. Volkanovski, high output fighter. Max Holloway, high output fighter. Zombie is not a high output fighter. Frank Yeager is, but he kind of got cut. Cub Swanson is, he kind of got caught. Renato Mocaino is not really. He's I go, you go. Right? Clay Guida is, and Clay was doing great in that fight. Actually dropped him. But he got caught. Really, when we go to this matchup here with Yair and we talk about this fight, I feel like, personally, I think Ortega can make it competitive if he has takedowns, if he wrestles, and he strikes, right? Because he's not horrible. He can compete with Yair, because Yair, he's a my turn, your turn kind of guy when he strikes. He waits for his moments. He's cerebral. But Yair is a completely different level of striker than Zombie, you know, or Renato Mocaina. He really is, with all due respect, you know. Even though I know Zombie did really well, it's a stylistic matchup thing, you know. And that was like a prime Zombie too, like a really, really in his prime, like fully healthy, recovered too, didn't get hurt. You know, that 2-year military service did him well. It's just a different guy. But with this matchup with Ortega, if Ortega, and I'll tell you how I think Ortega can win this fight. If he sets up his strikes well and he sets up takedowns, like he did take Zombie down. He did shoot. I saw it. It wasn't great. But if he can take Yair down multiple times, it's done. It's over. And that's what it comes down to. It's really what Ortega brings to the table here. That's how this fight goes. Now, Yair, I don't know what he's going to do in camp. He has to improve the takedown defense. Real talk, man. Like, legit, you cannot let this man, like, put you on your back. Like you can, and that's the thing. It's like, when I watch a lot of when I see him get taken down, he jumps in with the takedowns. So he has to stop doing that. Like with Max Holloway, he legit let that man take him down. He took Max Holloway down too. It's not like he can't wrestle, but he has to defend takedowns. It's no go, and I think he understands that. I think if Yair can play into that factor of let's stand in the middle and let's bang it out, and almost play to Ortega's kind of weakness of wanting to have that war, wanting to have that scrap, he can win this fight because he's on a different level, right? If Ortega plays that game of my turn, your turn, he will get mollywopped. The leg kicks are there. You know, the hands are there. He's longer. He's going to be the longer fighter in there. The reach, everything. Ortega's hittable. He's very hittable. Even against Zombie, he still got hit. So, very hittable. And if Ortega doesn't shoot, he's done. I don't know how else to describe. He's done. He can't win this fight if he does not shoot for a takedown or clinch at all. He's done. But obviously, I'm gonna go with the idea that he doesn't shoot because of Sean Strickland. Some guys just don't have fight IQ. I know and I'll give Ortega one thing. He was able to take down Volkanovski in that 4th round. So I give him that. He can, I you take down Volkanovski, that means something. I mean, Volk is a really good wrestler. But I'm going to go with Yair here. Yair's my guy. I like Yair. And I just don't think Ortega's smart. I just don't. I don't trust his fight IQ. I think Yair can get away with another matchup where he doesn't really have to worry about wrestling. And he's been blessed. I like the fact that he's been blessed. Now, obviously, it's a good step up in terms of grappling to see where his grappling is, but eventually he's going to have to fill in these holes. If he doesn't, and he wins this fight, and they give him a fucking title shot, he will get assaulted again by Volkanovski. I'm telling you, he needs to show something in this matchup. For his sake, if he has been working on the wrestling, I would hope Ortega goes for takedowns, but I don't think Ortega's smart. I think he'll get caught up in the idea of a brawl, and I think Yair beats him. If it's just striking, I think he's going to light this dude up, and he's going to fucking punt his head to the other side of the goddamn row when they're in that arena. So I'm going to take Yair Rodriguez by decision. Yair, and one thing about Ortega that it does make me not want to pick Yair is he doesn't lose non-title fights. He's never lost a non-title fight, right? So he's only lost in title fights. This is not a title fight. So it kind of goes against it, but I think Yair's good enough to beat Ortega. I could see a Cub Swanson situation where he does clinch with him, climbs that neck, gets that guillotine, but I'm taking Yair by decision here. Ortega's super tough, so I don't see him finishing him. So yeah, I got Yair by decision. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. Like, comment, share the video. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation going. Love y'all and goodbye. But yeah, Yair's the man. So you gotta stick with the guy, man. He's legit one of the most fun fighters to watch. So hopefully the main event does happen actually, and no one pulls out, and we get a great fight on Saturday. Love y'all and goodbye. Awesome card, by the way. But yeah, love y'all and goodbye.
¡Habló tanta pinche mierda el puto!